Welcome to the Danny Picard Show. What are we calling this? Episode 1099-1?
B.
Like if you're reading a lease, right? You get, B, A or B. What is this? I don't know what this is. This is a show that myself here and producer Paul Price decided to just hit record on today because we were meeting about some future plans that I have with the show. And I said, fuck it. Let's do something, you know, let's put out a podcast. It's been a while. I've been letting artificial intelligence take over my show on Spotify, iTunes.
Time to take it back.
Google Music, right? Is it still on Google Music, I think? Or
I don't know.
I know we're on Amazon Music.
Okay.
Or Amazon Podcast, something. It is on there. Man, there's a lot going on. I don't even know where to begin. I'm so unprepared for this. I feel like I should be more prepared, though. I also feel like I'm more prepared for this now than we were for the live streams that we were doing during the NFL season, Monday Night Mania, on my YouTube channel, which this will be on the YouTube channel as well. But how did you feel about that live stream? I mean, that wasn't...
I think we were almost
wasn't the best thing I've ever done.
I think we were almost there, though. I think there was the spirit of a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's all we ever
met
that's
well.
all we ever sniffed
We met
at.
well.
We had our moments.
We had good intentions with it.
Yeah.
A lot, there was a lot of conspiracy theory talk, which is fine. I'm all about it. I actually have a Donald Trump conspiracy theory that I wasn't even thinking about saying, but I've been thinking about it, so I might as well tell people what I'm thinking, because that's the whole point of this podcast right now, is to let people know what I am thinking on not just the world of sports, but everything in the world. So just to give people, I guess, a little bit of an update as to where I stand with this show, with my other business that I'm opening. I am opening Broadway Golf Club in Southie, as everybody knows, this summer. I think July, August is a realistic timetable that me and my construction team and my architects and my business partner, we all have that goal in mind, July, August, right? And it's not just a realistic goal. It's like a target date that we've set. Not an exact date, but we know that it's going to be this summer. We're going to be opening this summer. We have 6 TrackMan simulators, a 19th hole bar and sports lounge. But there's a lot going into the construction right now. And everybody's asking me for updates. I know Maureen Dayhill for Cotton Salty gave an update recently. And I talked to her. I gave her a quote. And she did a nice job with that. But that's really as in-depth as I can go. I mean, I don't feel like giving every little construction update to people in the neighborhood because... it's really none of anybody's business, right? I mean, it's not. And I also think I would bore people with some construction details that I would have for you if I were to give those out. So we're still several months away from that. But I always sort of have been teasing a return to this show regularly and that it might be a little different. And we just talked about this before we decided to hit record and do a podcast, which is that, all right, Paul, you know my vision, my plan, what we will have in store at some point, whether it's in 2023 or very early 2024. There's a lot going on that front as well. There's other little things going on, but I'm even having a tough time talking about that because I'm not somebody that explains my visions to people. Like, I have no interest in doing that anymore. I used to do it. I did it back in like 2003.
Yeah, but you're also saying your game plan. It's not good to tell people your game plan all the time either.
My game plan is simple. Pay attention to what I'm doing, and you might get a better vibe as to what my game plan is in the future. But back in 2003, I remember telling people that I was going to pursue a journalism degree at UMass. I was going to be a sports writer for the Boston Globe, and I was going to use all of my writing skills to do that, to build my popularity, to get my own show on WEEI. So many people laughed at me, mocked me, made fun of me, told me to no, stay where you are, then you can get this office job, do it this way, you're crazy, Danny. It's not going to work out. My first job out of college was what? A sports writer for the Boston Globe covering high school sports. I ended up having my own show on WEEI after that. So I think what I've proved to some people, even though they might not necessarily admit it now, is that my visions, I can make those work. You know, I can turn my vision into a reality. But it's tough to explain it to people because they don't see. Because even right now with Broadway Golf Club, you might think, oh, that's it. I'm like, well, no.
But wait.
You're seeing it now. There's more. Even on top of that. And I'm not going to start getting into explaining that because then I open myself up to potential self-sabotage, listening to people being like, oh, you shouldn't do it this way, you shouldn't do it that way. It's like, dude, if I told you I was opening to this 5 years ago, you would have told me it would never happen. And guess what? It's happening. We're several months out, and with this show, there is some stuff going on. But I have a tough time talking about it. So what we basically agreed to is, I cannot just sit on the sideline and wait for other things to happen. I have to continue to pump out content because, you know, I had a 15-year career in the media where it was nonstop content, writing, podcasts, radio, TV. I mean, I just posted something on my Instagram the other day, one of my several appearances on the Dan Patrick Show. And like, that was a pretty big thing for me. And like, you think back, it's like, wow, that was like 10 years ago. I think there's a lot of people now that have followed me in the last 5 years that didn't even know I was doing that stuff. And because the last 2 or 3 years, I haven't really been pumping out the content regularly that I'm used to. And so instead of just kind of jumping into it out of nowhere, when some of my visions come to a reality again soon, whether it's later this year or early 2024, instead of jumping into it out of nowhere, I think we're in agreement, Paul and producer Paul Price, that I should
bleed a little out.
I should pump some content out a little more regularly instead of just handing it over to artificial intelligence, OpenAI and ChatGPT, like I've been doing.
As good as they did.
As good as she's been doing. She's been doing a nice job. You know, she's got her artificial finger on my pulse, so to speak, and she's been crushing it. But that's where we're at. I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things. I don't even know where I should begin. What is the hottest topic right now that you think people?
In my world, it's the WWE UFC merger. That's in my world.
Yeah, you're a big UFC guy.
Yeah, that's why I wore this today.
You got the UFC shirt, UFC jacket.
I do. An old one.
So that's the biggest story in sports. I mean, obviously, it's a time we got baseball starting. You got the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs. You know, the Bruins are killing it. The Celtics are right there at the top of the league. The Red Sox, I think, question is, like every year, are they going to have enough pitching, right? Because they've shown some excitement offensively.
What Chris Sale are we going to get?
Yeah, they got the dramatics flowing offensively. It's just what type of pitching are you going to have? You brought Corey Kluber in. You know, Chris Sale was brutal his first outing, and you lost Nathan Eovaldi. I think a lot of people forget about that. We get so caught up in losing Xander Bogaerts that you think, well, you lost your ace in Nate Eovaldi, who went to Texas, I think on a 2-year deal. But so it is an exciting time right now in the world of sports. But I'm kind of with you on that. The top story is definitely, to me,
because it's so different. It's almost the most obvious thing that could happen. But it's also, you're talking money that I don't know if there's many groups that have that much money all put in just sports entertainment. Whether it be UFC and now WWE, the Endeavor Group.
So here, for people that maybe
it's 22
don't know what
billion
happened,
merger.
So the valuation of that company. So this Endeavor Group Holdings Inc. Bought WWE.
Yeah.
They already owned UFC. So this company, Endeavor, owned UFC. They bought WWE, and they are just merging WWE and UFC together to form. Right now, I think on the New York Stock Exchange, it's called TKO.
Yeah.
New company TKO. That's what they're calling it right now. So it's they created
subject
this
to change, but I like it.
Subject to change, but it could work.
Yeah.
It's a new public company. The valuation now is like $21.4 billion.
Amazing, yeah.
And the valuation, I think, is it $21.4 billion?
Yeah. Billion.
Yeah, billion.
In the WWE, I think was right around 9.
It was like 9.3, and UFC was 12.1. So it was, if my math is correct, 21.4
Which the first thing that popped into my head, which is going to be one of the first changes, there's not going to be free pay-per-views for WWE much longer.
That might be the only real big change.
That's going to be and they'll wait out whatever deals they have right now with Comcast on Peacock. That's going away. That's going away. It's going to be very different. Those guys don't play like that.
So Vince, the question I had initially was, all right, Vince McMahon's selling the company. Is he involved? And as we now see, he's going to be the executive chairman of the board, which has 11 members, 6 from Endeavor, and 5 from WWE.
And he's going to really take the role that Dana took after the sale of that, where you're still going to be the headpiece. You're not going to be involved in
You're
everything.
not in the weeds, as Vince McMahon said. He's going to have a lot of say in the major decisions, but he's not in the weeds, so to speak, and that's to use his own words.
Yeah. And I bet there was a phone call where they said those words. Because that's what I think. We
don't want you in the weeds, Vince.
We don't want you, We want you.
For sure.
We want you big picture. We want you being Vince McMahon. We don't need you working behind the scenes. We don't need that.
So Vince McMahon is going to be involved. Like I said, he's executive chairman of the board. The board has 11 members. I think it's Endeavor has 51%.
Yeah,
WWE 49%.
Yeah.
Anyways, Vince McMahon. The headline is Vince McMahon sold the WWE. I think is the biggest thing, right? And I think this WWE fans should be happy with this though, because he is still going to be involved. Like if he sold the company to, what were the reports? The Public Investment Fund in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that was the initial reports. I think if he did that, I don't know if he would have been. I don't know how involved he would have been.
It's hard to know.
I don't know. I think this is obviously a move that Vince McMahon made with the vision for the future of WWE, with him being involved in a big picture role, but not in the weeds. Triple H, Paul Levesque is still going to be the head of creative. Is that?
Yeah, and that's not changing. I think
that's his role. Yeah, because he was on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
I wonder, with Vince McMahon being reinstated recently, if it was part of the deal. They're like, we want Vince McMahon as the headpiece. Of course. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I think they said that. I think, because I even think Ari Emanuel? Is that the name of the CEO of Endeavor?
Yeah. Who's going to be also the same role as Vince in this new company?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have.
Yeah.
He's going to have the final say, but he said he wants Vince involved.
Yeah. Wouldn't you? Because I would. Of course. Exactly.
Of course
you're
you want Vince
throwing away
McMahon.
the best asset if you don't.
You want Vince McMahon involved.
And you want him on a leash. You don't want him in the day-to-day. It's actually perfect. This is the perfect situation for Vince also.
Now, unfortunately, it's not a perfect situation, as we saw on Sunday night, for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and Monday.
I have some thoughts on WrestleMania. The first thing I think you'll agree with me on is it should be one night.
It should be one night.
The fact that they have this 2-night event, which they've had for a handful of years now, is a bad idea, because if you have a great night in night 1, you're almost like setting yourself up for failure night 2.
Which is what happened.
Which is what they did. Right? They built up night 1.
So good.
Which was great.
To chaos the next night.
I don't even know if there was a bad match.
I mean, there's a couple I would move around. The early, there was a tag match, a women's tag match that I didn't think we needed to have. But
no, I didn't think you needed to have. I mean, if there was one night of WrestleMania, that match, that's the type of match that only happened because you have 2 nights.
And I'm fine with even having 2 nights on Royal Rumble, to be honest. But WrestleMania is WrestleMania, so trim every bit of fat.
You got to have one night. Here's a WrestleMania you should watch for that, which is the perfect example. WrestleMania 30. To me, is like the perfect WrestleMania. I think there's only like 6 or 7 matches, and it's like every match is huge.
That's
every match means something, right? That was a special WrestleMania in New Orleans. That was the one Daniel Bryan fought Triple H in the first match, and then won the titles in the last match. Cena fought Bray Wyatt.
Beginning
Undertaker. The streak ended with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Such a great WrestleMania, but one night. But they do this 2-night WrestleMania 39 this year at SoFi in Los Angeles. Awesome set. And by the way, I look at that set that they had, and I'm like, they put so much effort into that set. It was awesome. What were they thinking, like, at WrestleMania The second MetLife WrestleMania where they just used a screen. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was just like a big screen, and I'm like,
And this had everything was screen.
like, what did you didn't care about it that year? They've had some sets where I scratch my head and go, why didn't you care about the set for WrestleMania this year? And like the next year, it's like blows you away.
Yeah.
Awesome set, awesome night one, but night two, because you have a 2-night WrestleMania, you almost set yourself up for failure when you have a night one that's that good. But I think because of this sale to Endeavor and this merger with UFC, obviously they have some say.
Yeah.
Right? Endeavor, UFC, Vince McMahon, they're working together. All right, Vince isn't in the weeds, but this is the first big moment. You're going to make an announcement the next day on this merger. Do you want to start this thing off with a brand new champion, regardless of who it is? Or do you want to stick with the guy that it's been working with? They were not... I didn't really know about this. I didn't know about the sale till the next day. Actually, I was watching the press conference after... They do these press conferences now after WrestleMania.
I watched it.
It's great. They kind of stole it off New Japan Pro Wrestling, the press conferences. They're great.
It's funny, too, because half of them stay in character and half of them just talk business.
Oh, it's a mix. And I think they tell them to do that.
Yeah.
That's why I always told you the CM Punk thing was a work.
Yeah. Which I don't know now. It's been so long that I don't know. Now I'm like...
Wait till that music hits, and then you tell me. When that music hits, when he comes back to AEW, then you tell me. Like, he's even posting on social media now. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, he's still getting paid. Isn't that a breach of contract? You start talking shit about your boss on social media? Yeah, he deleted it, CM Punk, but... I think it's part of the plan, man. I still think that's a work. Anyways, these press conferences, Triple H did it the second night, and he was asked a question about a sale, and I'm going...
Yeah, there was rumors during the day.
Oh, shit, I didn't know.
There was rumors during the day. It didn't seem like it was going to be that quick, like the next day.
But then it made sense to me that why Roman Reigns kept the titles in the main event.
Yeah.
It made sense to me. I mean, and it also made sense to me why the next night they ended the show with Brock Lesnar beating the bag off of Cody Rhodes, like destroying him. Because Brock Lesnar agreed to the match with Omos, and I think the initial plan was he was going to lose and put the kid over, just a monster, put him over.
Yeah.
But then this stuff was happening, they're like, no, we want you involved. Because I think Brock was ready to walk away.
It's a big
So it makes sense, right? You keep Roman as the champ, you get Brock back involved in the main event scene.
Yeah, just from a business, if you're buying a business and it's running pretty well, you don't want to change it right now. You're like, we'll change it over 6 months. We're not changing it right this second.
Because I think, I think deep down inside, those are Vince's guys. And Vince, again, is in a position where on a high level, the major decisions, he's going to make those.
Yeah.
That's not an in-the-weeds decision. That's a, who's our champion? And our biggest star that is merged with UFC already previously, where is he with the company?
Yeah.
And so I think Vince steps in to Triple H and goes, it's not Cody's time. It's not going to happen. Because think about Cody's journey. And I feel terrible for Cody because I think they set this thing up. Triple H had set this thing up. This was his moment. And I think when you take the UFC merger out, you take the sale out of it, and you think of what they've done the last year, going back to last WrestleMania when Cody made his return. One of the loudest eruptions you'll ever hear at an event. There's been some loud ones. You'll be hard-pressed to find one louder for that long when he returned to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 38. But think about the journey. He gets hurt. Almost a blessing in disguise, right? You don't like blow your load with Cody Rhodes for that stretch after WrestleMania. Yeah. He returns at Royal Rumble, wins the Rumble. He's got these promos at Roman Reigns, and you just watch that and you're going, this is what the WWE needed. Like, it's perfect. And they're just creating the Cody Rhodes, like, almost was like a Hulk Hogan style babyface, selling the merch, has the logo, has the pyro.
And can't lose.
And like he's great in the ring, he's great on the mic, and you set yourself up for this WrestleMania moment against the guy that can't be beat, that was taught by your father. You got Paul Heyman involved. That was Cody's moment. Outside of the sale, outside of the merger with UFC. And then you add in that sale. You add in Vince making that decision. You add in Vince's head, talking to Ari Emanuel. How do we do this right out of the gate? Are we giving the belt to Cody Rhodes? Or are we sticking with our guy, the tribal chief, the head of the table? We know he's going to keep selling merch.
Yeah.
Like, look at him. He's
built.
He's
for
a
it.
specimen.
Yeah, he's built for it.
You know, he's got the hair, he's got the muscles, he's got the faction, the bloodline. He's got Paul Heyman with him. And it just, from a business perspective, thinking of the merger, I have no inside information on this. This is how I judge this, because there's no other reason why you would have Cody lose that. Yeah. You built that moment for him. Because by not giving him that moment, what you're risking now, and I think they might...
He'll go to...
I think they might have lost this already. Like, I think they lost the one moment they had. Like, Cody's a star. They can keep him at the top of the card. He's a star in WWE. They had a chance to make him a mega star. And I don't think they can go back to that. Even if he wins the belt at SummerSlam, wins the title, at SummerSlam.
Not WrestleMania.
But he already lost. Like,
yeah.
I think it's not going to be the same. You know, it will come with its glitz, its glamour, its excitement, but it ain't going to be that Cody Rhodes WrestleMania finish the story moment.
Yeah.
It's just not. I think they lost it. But I think they knew they were losing it, but they had the sale in mind, and they're like, this is what we want. Yeah. Like, I think this is what Vince wanted.
Vince has been looking to sell it for years, so this is their time. But the thing I wonder if it almost works for Cody, because Cody's dad was always screwed by Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but that's why this was going to change and why it was going to be so special.
That's why I like it, though, because now it's like you even have to earn it more. Because I think you're going to say this, but you back to Triple H in that press conference. He said something like, "We don't end stories, we continue stories." He said something like that.
Yeah, because Cody Rhodes had finished the story.
We're going to finish the story. He said, we don't
end stories.
Yeah.
We keep the story going.
Yeah.
And
he said Cody's story is just starting. And then they beat the crap out of him on Monday.
I think where they're going with the Brock Lesnar thing is, one, they wanted Lesnar back in that main event scene for the reasons I just said with the merger. The other thing is they have this stipulation where Brock, because he lost to Roman Reigns the last time, he can't challenge for the titles if Roman Reigns has them.
Yeah.
So I think where they're going with it is Brock's pissed off at Cody because he wanted Cody to win so he could challenge Cody for the titles. And so now he's just going to beat Cody into submission and maybe even toughen him up. And they're going to use that. Cody will beat Brock.
Yeah.
And maybe then he goes and beats Roman Reigns. And maybe
with even assist from Brock.
Maybe, yeah. But you know, I still think they lost the moment.
Yeah.
I still think I think they know it. I think they know that.
There was a decision to be made, and that's
a business decision. Vince is going to do what's best for business. And I don't want to knock Cody because I'm telling you, like, I wanted to see him win that. I still think it would have been a great business decision. But was it the best based on the situation of the sale, who you were merging with, what they wanted? Because at the end of the day, if they wanted to, they could say, no, like, we own WWE.
Yeah.
Actually, change the Brock stipulation. We want Brock to win the titles.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could do that if they wanted to at this point. It's just I think the sale, this is bringing it all together. The sale overall is a great thing for the WWE fans. I think it's great to have Vince involved, that he's sticking around. But I also think it's a horrible thing for Cody Rhodes. Because I think that was his moment.
Yeah. Because
leading into that match, I was reading things, people were saying, they still haven't made their decision on what they're going to do. And it's like, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like they did make their decision. And they were building towards it. And maybe they were just trying to figure out, well, how are we going to do it? I mean, the match was awesome. They had everything. You know, interference, refs getting bumped into, kicking out of finishes. They really did have everything. And I didn't know how that match was going to go. Because no knock on Roman Reigns, but he doesn't really do much in the ring.
Yeah.
He doesn't. That's the beauty of him, though. He's old school like that. Cody kind of can do a lot more than Reigns,
but it's still semi-old school. Yeah,
they're not doing flips off the rope, off the top rope.
Yeah, they have a set of moves.
Yeah, they have a move set. They're gonna stick to it. It's how you bring. They're both great at bringing the story together. And that's why it's like, well, the story had Cody winning the titles tonight. Even like I'm sitting there watching WrestleMania, and Solo Sikoa comes back.
Yeah.
And Reigns wins, and I'm going. I sat there for like 10 minutes going, no way did they just do this. But isn't that what makes it great? You don't expect it.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't knock it too much. It's like we all expected Cody to win, and then they're like, they hit you with that unexpected blow.
Yeah.
They used to do that with Brock Lesnar. Everyone always thought, Lesnar needs to lose the belt. He needs to lose. He's going to lose. He's going to lose. And they kept having him win.
Like,
And even when I thought he was going to lose and he'd win, I'd be like, oh, that was surprising, but I like it because I'm surprised right now. It's the element of surprise.
And it's hard to do in wrestling because it's a defined medium. We've seen how it works. So it's hard to really catch old heads.
Yeah, it's just it's tough for Cody, man. That was, you built him up. He had this return. What's the story now? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like, well, let's wait and see. Right? Let's wait and see what the story's going to be.
Yeah.
Because if Triple H is still calling the shots, then I do trust Triple H I feel like Triple H is a guy that has the long-term story in his mind because he's been there. He's been involved in them so many times. Whereas I feel like Vince is kind of a guy who's like, I want this guy to be the champ, and
Vince will just change
that's it.
At a drop of a dime.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look, Vince,
he's not always been wrong.
He's confident that he just can turn water into wine like that.
Because he has.
Because that's what he does. Yeah. Because he's right most of the time. He turns water into wine. And so he has that right to make that decision. But I do think, and I don't have any inside information on this, but I do think the long-term play was always in Triple H's mind to give Cody the titles that night. And then the sale happened, Vince gets back, plans change.
Yeah.
And I think they blew their moment with Cody. I don't think they're going to get that moment back. And that's what's kind of frustrating about the whole thing, being someone who was looking forward, even though I expected it. I wanted to see that happen,
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know how they're going to bring that back. And I feel the same way, like, with the Sami Zayn stuff. Him and Kevin Owens won the tag titles. Are you interested in them anymore? I'm not really. Like, that's why I didn't want the Sami Uso thing to end.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Because
like, I don't have any interest in...
It feels like something that should have happened 2 years ago. It doesn't feel like something we need right now.
No, 2 years from now, you're saying?
2 years
like,
from now,
still go
or
with it
2 years
like,
ago when they were I'm just over those two guys together. That we've seen.
Yeah, we've done the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens situation. But look, overall, I still think, big picture, it was a great weekend for WWE.
It definitely was.
From the sale to the excitement at WrestleMania. It should be one night. Cody should have won the title, but I understand why they didn't do it based on the merger.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. But I don't think Cody knew.
It is what it is. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah,
Let's see how it plays out. Because I was not expecting Brock Lesnar to flip on Cody like that. And so they did a nice job.
I didn't even know who was going to come out. And when they said like someone who fought at WrestleMania, because before that I was saying, oh, Randy Orton's back. We're going to see Randy Orton again. But then they stipulated that his tag team partner on Raw had to be someone that fought at WrestleMania.
Yeah. They really, I didn't expect him to attack Cody Rhodes like that.
It was great.
And so obviously they have a plan.
Yeah.
With it. I just hope the plan isn't to bury Cody again and make him a mid-carder before they give him the titles.
Put him in polka dots.
But then it's like, yeah, right? Then it's like, well, if he wins the titles again, is it going to be the same? I don't know.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? I do know. It's not going to be the same. But I guess it's better than not giving it to him.
We'll see, though. Like, do they wait a full year and give it to him at WrestleMania next year?
So here's what I was thinking. I was also thinking this. Obviously, having the UFC involved is a new dynamic. Next year's WrestleMania 40. Okay?
Big one.
You got to think that they still... See, I think Vince still has this, like, Roman Reigns versus The Rock in his brain.
Yeah.
And I think the only way that really works the way Vince wants it to work is if Roman is still the unbeatable force by the time you get there. Like if Roman loses a couple times before the match against The Rock and he, becomes human again.
Less power.
Is that match really that special? Not really.
Yeah.
It's not. You want that unbeatable force against your family member who used to be the unbeatable force, right? He used to be the superstar,
Someone who's coming back to maybe take over the family.
Exactly. So you still have that there. I think that's what they could be doing. And the only way they can try to recapture that Cody Rhodes WrestleMania special title moment is if, and this is exactly what I said to you, how Cody should win it in the first place. The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The Rock beats Roman Reigns, wins the titles, lights go out, and you hear Cody Rhodes is wrestling has more than one royal family, and here comes the Money in the Bank winner, and Cody beats The Rock for the titles.
Which makes sense, too, because you don't want The Rock. The Rock's not going to be a day-to-day guy.
He's not sticking around.
Yeah.
So you're getting, and it might even be that expected moment. Like, if Cody has the Money in the Bank, then maybe you expect it.
Yeah.
But so what?
Yeah.
You expected it this year, and you still wanted it to happen. So you can expect it next time. But that should be the way. And then it's like, you have Cody versus Roman feuding again if you want, because Cody didn't beat Roman for the titles.
Yeah.
And that could happen the following year at WrestleMania. So you could be Vince could be like long playing this. All right, here's what we're doing.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
So I am hesitant to really crush WWE for not giving Cody his moment. Because maybe they do have something bigger. But that would really be the only thing that would give Cody his moment again.
And it's just due, too. Because I don't think he came back to the WWE for this to happen to him.
Hell no.
There was an agreement that it was going to be quite different for him.
And look, plans change. You get a sale of the company, then then I don't know what happens to contracts, but I think maybe there was something in the contract that was like, well, if there's some type of sale, then we have the right to change the plan.
Or just, you're a champion, but it's within 3 years.
Or they said to him.
Yeah.
Or maybe they said,
it's best for business, Cody.
All right, Cody, you're not going to win this year, but you're going to beat The Rock next year with your Money in the Bank to close out the 40th anniversary of the showcase of the Immortals. And maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm trying to not, again, overreact and crush them for it because they surprised me with the Brock Lesnar thing on Monday night.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where that goes. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. So that's kind of where they stand in WWE. I was kind of hoping that like the Kenny Omega thing to WWE would have some legs to it. There was some rumors that Kenny Omega's contract was up, could be leaving. I really hope he makes the jump, dude, because
come to the big show.
You gotta,
as much as
you just have to have one match at WrestleMania if you're somebody that good.
Yeah.
Just experience it, man. Like,
I hate to be a brand loyalist, but come to the WWE.
Like, dude, and that's not knocking AEW. That's not knocking really the Young Bucks. It's not knocking Tony Khan. It's like WrestleMania is a different beast.
It is.
You don't want a WrestleMania Kenny Omega entrance alone.
There's no way.
Like
he does. He does.
Of course he does. And like, if you have an opportunity, I know they don't trust WWE with the storylines and how they're going to manage it, but it's like,
and they probably are going to fuck it up.
I don't know, dude. I think there's a narrative out there, and again, this is me from the outside looking in, but there's a narrative that WWE doesn't like push people that they didn't build, and I think that's such a phony narrative. When you actually look at, look at Cody.
Yeah.
Granted, he started in WWE, but he left.
But he really made his name by leaving.
That's when he made his name. But you look at like WrestleMania 20. Didn't they close that show out with Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero? Those aren't guys that Vince made. Those are WCW guys.
That's a great
point. So like
point.
when people say that, they don't ever push, it's like, well, I don't know if that's true.
It's not entirely true, yeah.
They've pushed other guys in different. I think there's certain moments where they won't do it, right? But if it feels right, if it's what's best for business, they'll do it. Kenny Omega bringing him here, even if they brought the Bucks with him, man, that place would explode. It really would.
Yeah.
And And so like AEW, like I watch it sporadically. I watch their Revolution pay-per-view. Great event overall. They got Adam Cole just came back. They're going to set up a feud with Jericho. That Adam Cole storyline is the reason I try not to overreact to wrestling storylines in the moment. Because Adam Cole came back. They had this big announcement. He's like, who's going to challenge me? And it's some dude, Garcia. It looked like they pulled him off the street. I don't know who he is. He's got no personality. Like, I think he's good in the ring, but he's not the guy I was expecting to fight Adam Cole in his first match back. And I'm like, well, that's a bummer.
It's a letdown. Yeah.
That's a huge letdown. That's who you're going with? But he's in a group with Jericho. Jericho came out after, set us up for the next one. And I'm like, okay. So I won't judge you I won't crush you right now because I see, let the story play out. And I feel that's why I'm like not crushing WWE with Cody Rhodes. I don't know if I'm all over the place with that logic, but
no, I see what you're saying.
That's where
you're willing to let it pan out a little bit. Yeah. Before you judge it.
Yeah. But that's sale. I didn't expect it to go down like that. But you mentioned the pay-per-view thing. That's the only change you're going to see.
Yeah.
WWE pay-per-views right now are not pay-per-views.
Yeah.
If you have the Peacock network and you pay $5 a month, which I do, which is $4.99 a month.
Something like that. I think I bought a year.
You get all the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But UFC uses that ESPN Plus,
yeah.
Like, just because you pay for ESPN Plus, you don't get the pay-per-views.
Exactly. It's still another $80.
It's a double paywall. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Double paywall. And I think the WWE through Endeavor will probably do that.
Or something closer to that. It's not going to be what it is now.
No, at least for the major events.
Yeah. It's
right?
Yeah. And honestly, that's how UFC does it too. Like maybe 2 shows a month are actually pay-per-views. Two other shows are just on ESPN Plus or on ESPN. So it's like there's levels to it.
Yeah. I think that's the only change you'll see. Other than WWE has a new TV deal coming up.
And there's like a new pool of talent. I think there's like a way you're going to see a lot more UFC people running through.
You know what though? You already see that.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But get ready for more. Get ready for
more. You already kind of see like the cross promotion, unofficial. Put it this way: it was unofficial before.
Yeah.
Now I think they'll make it official. Yeah. Like you already had Conor McGregor tweeting out a picture of him at the WWE Championship. That was gonna happen anyways.
He told Paul Heyman he's gonna break his jaw.
Like Conor McGregor was already gonna do that at some point. Maybe not yet. I think he should make the jump. I mean, why wouldn't you?
He needs another fight in the UFC. No, it's been so long, so he needs to be himself again.
I also don't know if he would be able. And he would be able to cut promos, but I'm not sure he'd be able to cut a promo on USA Network on Fox.
Back. Yeah.
They're
all pre-taped.
So maybe he needs someone like me, notorious PIC, to step in and manage him to the top. Maybe.
You're not wrong about that though. Like they're all nuts. So they're all loose cannons, and that's going to be an issue with all of the UFC. The people they've gotten in now before were kind of low. I don't know. I don't want to say like low energy people, but no one that's a problem. They've never had someone that's a problem. Brock is always a professional. Everyone's been a professional who's come across.
Yeah.
They've also mostly been boring. So it'd be fun to have some of maybe like a Covington. Maybe there's a lot more fun guys that would fit in the WWE.
How about seeing Vince McMahon giving someone the title in an octagon? Yeah. You know?
See, it's going to be tougher from a UFC perspective.
Sure, you don't want to get mixed up into people thinking that the UFC fights are predetermined.
Because people already think it.
They do. Oh, do they? They think it's rigged?
Yeah. Well, Dana has his guys. It's those type of things. And the judges.
Well, it's gambling too, right? Yeah. I mean,
whether or not
it's all
like,
the sports
they're telling
apps.
them, it seems like things happen how the plan is. Like how the storyline is going is how it usually goes.
Yeah, like if there's a big money fight 2 fights from now for a certain guy.
Like this guy, this is a Sean O'Malley shirt. He's a Dana guy. The last fight, you could easily say he didn't win. I think it was 50-50, so it's a split. But I can see the argument where the judges gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Who's the kid that just won that we questioned on the live stream?
I forget.
What's his name? The kid he's a fucking goofball. What's his name? I don't know his name. I forget his name.
It'll pop back in my head. But you're right. That was another one.
What is his name? I'm looking at
Patty
Pimbleton. Pimbleton?
Yeah. That was another. Again, it could be a split decision, but it didn't. It wasn't. It didn't go that way. It went for him. And when you really watch the fight again, it's 50-50, but the other guy basically smashed him the entire time. So it's a hard. I don't know. We could get into that another day, but I think the point system is all screwy. They have to change the whole point system to UFC. The boxing 10-point system doesn't work as well, in my opinion, because how you judge takedowns, damage from takedowns, if he just pops back up, it just doesn't. It's not a good system. So
yeah, I think so. With that said, WWE is going to benefit from that more than UFC will benefit from WWE.
Other than the UFC fighters, because now you're going to level off their pay a little bit now.
You know what?
You let them run through the WWE, and now you make a couple dollars while they're healing a bit too. So that's part of it.
They'll both benefit from it. But I think my point is the biggest changes you're going to see in the WWE is going to be with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's going to come back. You're going to have to pay probably $50, $60 for WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
It's not going to be $5 a month and you get it for essentially no extra charge. It's going to be back to a pay-per-view event.
When the UFC guys and the Endeavor guys looked at that, and they probably laughed. They're like, "You're just giving this away. You're
just leaving millions of dollars on the table.
You're a $9 billion company, and you're just giving people.
Yeah. What are you doing, Vince?
You're giving your WrestleMania away.
What are you doing, Vince? I don't even know how much longer they'll last on the Peacock network because of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
once that deal's up, it's up.
I wonder if WWE will end up on ESPN.
No, I think UFC also wants to be off ESPN. I think they would like their own app again.
Too woke for them?
No, well, partially, yeah. Well, they stopped. No one's allowed to bring flags anymore because of that. Because kind of Russian flags is really what it came out of.
Yeah.
But now no one's allowed. So I think Dana resists.
That's
that
an ESPN call?
Supposedly.
Really?
Yeah, supposedly.
Huh. I see. I don't pay enough attention to UFC to know something like that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no flags.
Isn't it funny though that the two guys in business, this is why I like when I look at big businesses being so fearful of cancel culture that they're willing to just bend the knee and do something outrageous.
Yeah.
Right? So that
they'll do anything.
They'll do anything
to get whatever the new hot
just
fad
virtue
is.
signaling.
Yeah.
Right? But yet you look at
these two,
Dana White and Vince McMahon, and they're two of the most successful businessmen because they don't care what somebody with fluorescent green hair tweets about them.
Yeah. They know it goes away. That's that's one benefit. That's one good thing about both of them.
But the crazy thing about that is you would think that all these other business owners in major corporations would look at that and go, oh, wow, we can be highly successful, no longer caring about what people say on Twitter.
Yeah,
because that's all cancel culture is. It's just people on Twitter, like
bored at their jobs,
sucking in all the negativity and controversy, and then spewing it back out to their own forums to the point where
it's recreational.
People are scared of being canceled. But it's if the major corporations don't buy into that, nobody's ever going to get canceled. I don't even tweet anymore. I'm done with Twitter. I have it. It's private. I don't tweet. I'm never going to send another tweet out again. I'm on Instagram. Follow me there. Comment on my pictures. I don't give a shit.
The only
Twitter's a sewer. It's ruining the world. And it's amazing to me that these major corporations are so scared of reading something on Twitter that they're willing to just bend the knee and virtue signal while they look at two guys who don't give a shit about cancel culture being the most successful businessmen in the world. And they still don't see that and go, let's do it their way. Because to a man, the owners of these major corporations that are fearful of cancel culture and bending the knee to wokeism, you know that when they're sitting down at dinner with each other or they're having a drink, they don't give a shit about that.
No.
They're not about that. They're all about Dana White, Vince McMahon. That's who they really are.
That's who they want to be. But
they're scared to be that in the public perception.
I think that's true, but I think their audience isn't the WWE and it's not the UFC audience. It's a different audience where it's people who you don't have to play national anthems. No one cares about any of that stuff. We want to like, especially UFC, it's purely fights. Like nobody cares about any of the outside stuff. All the other stuff never infiltrated the UFC.
Yeah, you go back to like the COVID, like the way Dana White handled COVID.
That's when I became a super fan. Like honestly, because he was the only one. He gave me entertainment every week.
Vince McMahon too.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that. But Dana White didn't change anything. He did whatever he had to for safety protocols and all that. And then
he didn't mandate the vaccine, right?
Nope.
I think I read a number like 18% of Americans got the most recent booster, the most recent like 3 boosters. So they basically admit like you got like 80% of the country admitting that like we're moving on.
Yeah, we're over it. Everyone's over it. Even people who were reluctant are over it now.
Yeah. But like Dana White and Vince McMahon, they never like folded on that.
No.
You know, they saw it for what it was and
shrunk their promotions.
They're just American businessmen that they thought people can make their own decisions in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and
some people still think that. Not everybody.
No, not everybody. But so I think that I think the WWE sale is the top story in my world, and I say it's my sports world right now because I mean I watch wrestling more than I watch anything.
Oh,
it's
really?
On Monday nights. It's on Tuesday nights, NXT. Wednesday night, you got AEW. You got nothing Thursday. Though you might even have Ring of Honor on Thursday. Friday, you got SmackDown. You know, pay-per-views now are on Saturdays. Like, there's a lot.
That's another
I'm watching that more than I'm watching anything else.
I wonder if that changes because if you're in one group, do you want UFC and WWE pay-per-views on the same Saturdays? Because UFC is also, or do you just say it's big? It's a big enough of a split of fans.
Well, how often does UFC?
It's every week.
UFC, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
WWE does once a month.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think there's a way to...
And UFC...
No, there's nothing you can do.
UFC does take off. Like, they took off WrestleMania. So they do, like, go around the big ones of wrestling.
Put it this way. They just combined to be worth $21.4 billion. So they're not having a problem. And they've been doing it on the same nights.
Yeah.
So... but you never know. They could go back to Sunday nights. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm getting used to the Saturday night WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah. If I wasn't a UFC fan, I would like the Saturday night pay-per-views. I would, because it's better. You stay up later. You're not worried about Monday. Like, but because of UFC, I would rather on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I don't know. That's an interesting question. But I think it's great news all around that Vince is still involved. The only person it's not great news for is Cody Rhodes. But again, let's that could change.
Yeah.
If it goes the way I just said it could go.
Yeah.
And I think they might be leaning
they should
that route.
To me, it feels like he's a shoe-in for next WrestleMania. They're going to build up something.
Oh, see, I don't know if he's a shoe-in.
Well, maybe not a shoe-in, but it's like, I think that he came back with some guarantee that he gets the title. I think it's in his contract. I just don't know why you come back.
I think it
makes no sense to me.
I don't know that they... So here's the deal. And again, I have no inside information on this. I don't know how they handle business. But I don't know. I don't think Vince McMahon would guarantee titles.
Yeah.
Because things can change.
But just why
you can't guarantee a title because you just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I think what they did guarantee was you'll be in the main event at WrestleMania.
Okay.
I think they gave him a WrestleMania main event.
Did you watch the pre-show at all? The pre-show,
no.
They had him coming in with his wife and his kid, and he looked like he just got told he was losing at WrestleMania.
Oh, really? Yeah. He was not happy about it?
It was somber. It was like...
That sucks. Dude, that sucks. Can you imagine having to perform? I mean, if he knew for weeks, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if he was just told that day,
I'm reading into that. Like, I just even kissing his daughter at the beginning, all that. I'm like, that's a little weird. Don't you do that after you win? Like,
You're right. Before the match, he went over and kissed his family.
Yeah, like
I didn't think of that at the time. I still was like, oh, they're building up. He's gonna win this. It's funny. I see I listen to some other wrestling podcasts, and There's some people who don't like Cody and they don't think he deserves to be there. I'm like, do you not listen to the people yell during his entrance?
I just
during
don't
that
get
song,
that.
like when he comes out, like that's as loud a pop every single time as I've ever heard in wrestling history.
And where does he stink? He's great. He's at least good at everything, and he's great at a lot of things.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I don't
man.
see it.
He needs to win that, but he needed to win that night. He needed to win that night, unless they do it the way I said. Anyways, what do we got? How long have we been going for? We got to maybe wrap this up, right?
51 minutes.
Have we been going for 51 minutes? Shit.
Maybe a little less.
A lot to talk about. A lot to say.
Chris Sale being Chris Sale. There's new lights.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to wait. I think you need to be in person to see the Fenway flashing lights for a walk-off home run. Is it a win or just a walk-off home run?
See, I'm still confused about that. I think it's a win.
Right now,
Yeah.
not just watching on TV, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to see it in person to like it, so I'll withhold full judgment on it.
Some people
But right now,
are saying it's
I don't like it.
disorientating when you're there. I think that's
Really?
too far, but
Well, it depends on how many beers you have. If you fucking, especially the drafties will get you.
yeah, I know.
The draft beers will
know.
sneak up on you.
A long
you have,
game.
You have 8 draft beers,
long
nothing
7.
in your
Yeah.
stomach. Fucking, you know what I
And
mean?
the lights are going
Like,
crazy.
The Macho Man had to walk off, and you're like, oh, trying to lift those fake plastic dumbbells in the stands. I joked about that, and they actually are doing
did.
it. They're
I
going to
know.
sell the fake dumbbells for the Macho Man.
I know.
Of course they are.
They'll sell anything, man.
Of course they are. Anyways, I didn't come in to talk Red Sox. Nobody. It's a long season.
It is.
But there is a Mac Jones rumor that we have to get to because we did so much Mac Jones hatred.
Yeah.
We had so much Mac Jones hate talk on the live stream on this YouTube channel. And it's funny because I feel like
Vindication.
me and you are going to be on the right side of history for this
Yeah,
one.
finally, right?
Right?
Yeah.
The story on Mac Jones is that Bill Belichick, according to Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, who obviously has Patriots connections.
Yeah.
The story is that Bill Belichick has been shopping Mac Jones this offseason. Now, the story actually was like past tense.
Yeah.
Past participle has.
It felt like he is
they
no-
have shopped him.
It no longer is how I read it. It kind of felt like a no longer shop.
See, that's what people read into, and I
Yeah.
go, well, why would he stop?
Yeah.
Okay, he shopped Mac Jones. They named the 4 teams, but I look at that going, well, if you're going to name those 4 teams, it tells me it's not happening with those 4 teams. It's done.
Yeah.
But you have the rest of the league. You have some. Now, I know teams have quarterbacks, but anything's possible.
Yeah.
There are some teams that I could think of right now that could use Mac Jones. One of them is the Baltimore Ravens. I don't recall
That was
seeing
on the list, no.
them on the list. You got Lamar Jackson. You got Robert Kraft telling the media last week at the league meetings about a text that he received from Meek Mill, in which Meek Mill told Robert Kraft in a text, Lamar Jackson wants to play for the New England Patriots. Now, this came in the same conversation with the media in which Robert Kraft gave glowing praise for Mac Jones, which is fine. I expect that.
He should,
What,
yeah.
what do you think? He's going to knock Mac Jones if he hates him? No. He's going to give him all the praise. Especially if they're trying to trade him.
Yeah.
Right?
Even more so.
And so, my thing is, I walk away from that going, why would Robert Kraft even bring that conversation with Meek Mill up to the media? There's a reason he did that.
Yeah.
What's the reason? To let people know he's friends with Meek Mill? No.
Very
We already
small
knew that.
part. That might be 2%.
We already knew that. And then he's like, well, it's Bill Belichick's decision
Yeah, right.
to get Lamar Jackson. Okay, fine. But there's a reason you put that out there. You didn't have to tell anybody that.
Yeah.
Especially the same conversation in which you praise Mac Jones. Because with some of the media try to spin it, they're like, oh, he had nothing but praise for Mac Jones. There's no way he's going to get Lamar Jackson. That's on Bill. He even said it's on Bill. It's like, well, you really expect Robert Kraft to sit there and knock Mac Jones? That would be the most ridiculous thing of all time.
Yeah.
He's not an idiot. So now the report comes out a week later that Bill Belichick has shopped Mac Jones this offseason. And I look at that and go, all right, you have it kind of in the past, but the draft is later this month. and even after the draft, as long as that Lamar Jackson
It's floating. Yeah.
is floating above everybody around the league, we know he wants to play for the Patriots. We know Bill Belichick loves him. We know Bill Belichick obviously has an issue with something Mac Jones did last season, which we found out was one of the reports was Mac Jones didn't like the way the offense was going with the new coordinators, so he had reached out to get outside help
from his old coordinator.
From his old Alabama coaches.
Yeah. Which Bill is not doing.
Bill did not like.
That's insane. No one would like that, though.
Bill did not like that. But you know what the other thing is, and no one's talking about it because, again, the media just for some reason didn't pick it up, but we talked about it. The injury.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, the reality of the Mac Jones injury last season was when he got injured, that's when we started hearing about what's going on between Mac Jones and Bill Belichick, right? Now, nobody came out with this report, but I implied it with the Adam Schefter report that came out when Adam Schefter had a report when Mac Jones was injured that said, according to sources, Mac Jones got a second opinion on the ankle, and they were told that most people would have surgery for that injury. And I remember telling you on the live stream, I go, Bill Belichick ain't leaking that.
It doesn't make sense.
Bill Belichick ain't leaking injury updates. Who did Adam Schefter get this from? He got it from Mac Jones's camp. The media all took that like that was like Patriots news. Like the Patriots were like, oh, here's how tough Mac Jones is. He's,
which gives them no benefit for doing.
Oh, whatever. Or like maybe the Patriots wanted him to get the second opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Which also doesn't make sense.
No. So I read that to go, well, no, Adam Schefter got that from Mac Jones, and Mac Jones's camp is saying, see, like, they want us to play through this, but most people would have surgery, so that's why we're still at least sitting out a little bit longer. Because I look at that injury, that ankle sprain that Mac Jones had, the images of him getting carried off the field, you thought they were going to have to amputate the kid's fucking leg after that.
Yeah.
And he just had an ankle sprain. And I'm not usually one of those guys that like questions athletes and their injuries, but when you look at who Bill Belichick is and what he's about, and like you need to have a toughness to play for the Patriots, right? You're the quarterback of the Patriots. It's your second year. You're constantly being judged. How are you making that leap from year 1 to year 2? You get carried off the field. You got an ankle sprain. You're sitting out. You can't play. I looked at all that and I go, there's no way Bill Belichick likes this. There's no way Mac Jones is a Bill Belichick guy. And I have no inside information. But my thought on it is Bill Belichick.
Other than watching Bill Belichick for years and years.
Other than knowing what he's about.
Yeah.
I would think that Bill Belichick would be like, what's up? Like, toss some ice on it? Like, can you practice next week?
Yeah.
Right?
Can we shoot it up?
Not like, hey, go get a second opinion. Let's see if you can have surgery.
Yeah. Other guys.
Because he doesn't have much time left, Bill Belichick. He wants to win right now without Brady.
He's on borrowed time. He's not.
So, hey, put some ice on it. Can you play? And then when Mac Jones couldn't, I'm telling you right now, my opinion is I think Bill Belichick learned a lot about Mac Jones when he sat out a couple games with that injury. And when he got a second opinion to go to the Patriots and go, hey, they're telling us we might need surgery. This is why we should sit out. We got a long career ahead of us. Yeah. We're looking out for ourselves. And we're going to leak that to Adam Schefter. So people don't knock Mac Jones for maybe sitting out of an injury that he could play through. I think that's what that was about. Nobody else read it that way.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about a rift between Belichick and Jones, in my opinion, we started talking about Zappy. Belichick's not committing to Mac Jones when he's asked about him this offseason and saying Zappy has a chance, essentially. It's like, I think Bill Belichick learned a lot about Mac Jones when that injury happened. And when he came back, the arms were flailing. You know, he's upset with the coaching staff. He's going outside for help.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's available.
Wants to play.
Wants to play for the Patriots.
Yeah. If that's true, wants to play.
Wants to play for the Patriots. I think that right now we're in a window of opportunity that Bill Belichick might see, knowing how much time he has left. He has a couple weeks before the draft.
And he still wants to win one without Brady.
He's had initial exactly.
That's the thing.
He's had initial conversations about trading Mac Jones, and that should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah.
To think that is now done and they're definitely keeping him, man. I think we could see Lamar Jackson in a Patriots uniform. I know people try to put the numbers and the salary cap and the salaries.
They figure it out. They always. I think
that Bill Belichick is seen an opportunity to take a real shot. He's got Bill.
And probably his last shot. To be honest,
definitely.
Like, how long is he going to do this? He's not building someone up for 7 years. So it's now.
It's now.
3 years.
Do people believe that Mac Jones is the guy to win for the Patriots right now?
You can't believe it.
You cannot believe it.
And that's like when that live stream, we always talked about the eye test. And that's more than anything. You just look at him. The ball doesn't look right. When he's doing well, he's dancing. When he's not doing well, he's pouting. Like there's no side.
He's not a Bill Belichick guy. There's too many question marks. Everybody's putting it on the offensive coordinator,
which
on the
stunk.
offense, which was bad.
Yeah, but still.
But the coach is still looking for you to
figure something out.
Pick us up a little bit. You're
the leader.
Like, we're not relying on everyone to pick you up. We're relying on you to pick us up.
Yeah.
That's and the only type of quarterback that can do that for this Patriots team right now is probably who's available.
Yeah.
Is probably Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, of who's available. That's it.
Because they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, which it's like, I know it's actually shocking he's only 26 years old.
Oh, wow.
I thought he was like 32.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that young.
But the contract is so cheap, it makes you wonder, like, what's the catch? What's he got going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What bum knee does he have?
Yeah, like, what's the injury there? And so, like, you talk about potential trade for DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. Are those guys looking at Mac Jones going, yeah, we want to go there?
Yeah.
Or are they going to go, hey, they got Lamar Jackson. Are we going to go there?
That sounds better.
It sounds much better. And so I just don't rule it out the way the media rules it out. I think the media right now they're continuing to support Mac Jones in this crazy manner that is beyond. I've never seen anything like it.
Is it just that him and his people work with them? Is it as simple as that? It might be,
dude. It might be like they have so many connections with Mac Jones that they're just putting
Belichick,
all their chips in the Mac Jones.
Yeah, we've already done it. We've already invested in this guy. We can just call him up. They always call us back. Is it as simple as that?
No, but to hear people question Bill Belichick over Mac Jones is fucking mind blowing to me. It's like Bill Belichick answered a question the other day or last week at the league meetings. And I'm paraphrasing, but the question was like, do you have confidence? Like what's giving you confidence that this year could be different than last and that you could be successful? And again, I'm paraphrasing the question, but his answer was something along the lines of, well, it's because of my success over the last 25 years. Yeah. It was like a check. Here's my resume.
Yeah.
All right. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, who you asking?
Here's my resume. And then I saw some media members go, well, that's unlike Bill Belichick to rely on the past to move forward in the future. I'm like, well,
that's not what he was doing.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't because everybody around him right now is questioning him over a quarterback that hasn't done shit. So Belichick's probably looking at all this Mac Jones praise and he's going,
he had a bad year,
you fucking idiots.
That's what I
took a quarterback in the last round of the draft, or the 6th round of the draft, and he became the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, the best.
And I decided to go with him over your superstar that just got the big contract, and Drew Bledsoe. Is that a popular opinion? No. You don't trust me over Mac Jones? Yeah. Like, the amount of people that are like, oh, it's Bill Belichick's fault. It's not Mac Jones' fault. I can't believe it. How could we? Oh, he went outside to get help from Alabama. Yeah, of course he needed to get help. Why would he listen to Bill Belichick? It's like Bill Belichick must be looking at all this media stuff and just thinking to himself, but that's what that answer was. That answer was like pent up, like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, look at my resume. Like, did you guys think Tom Brady was going to be the greatest of all time?
Not a chance.
No, but guess who fucking did? You idiots. Like, that doesn't mean anything to you? So the last 25 years, the success we had was because of Tom Brady. Guess who gave Tom Brady that chance? Me. That doesn't mean anything to you? You think now all of a sudden, like, Mac Jones knows more than me? That he's going to go to... You think anyone at Alabama knows more than me?
Exactly. He was saying, he said the same thing that day. He said, 20 years in Alabama? Alabama?
Like, that's where you're going?
Because you can't learn an offense in 2 years.
So yeah, I am gonna let Bailey Zappi see I'm gonna see what he has in training camp.
And you could just, you know why I wish more people picked up on it when we did. Bailey Zappi, it felt like Belichick was having fun, and I'm not disillusioned that Bailey Zappi is anything, but it was fun though.
He's he might be a backup quarterback for the Patriots the rest of his
forever,
career.
yeah,
and that's
exactly.
fine.
He's Hoyer now, but that's perfectly fine. But there was some kind of excitement when he came out there, and it dried up when Mac Jones was out there. And we even had that one game when they started him and didn't pull them out.
The Monday night game.
Yeah.
The fans were they were chanting for Zappi.
Yeah. And it felt different. And like,
but then, you go to social media and it's all the reporters like defending Mac Jones. It's like, I don't know. Even with the offensive coordinator stuff, it's like, I don't know why you can't trust Bill Belichick. Like, if you're at the point where you are trusting Mac Jones over Bill Belichick,
that makes no sense.
Like, it's just so mind-blowing to me. It's like, what are we doing? And you know that Bill Belichick sees it and thinks the same thing, and that's why that 25-year comment came out.
Yeah.
That's why he's shopping Mac Jones. He's openly, actively trying to trade Mac Jones, and people are like, well, he's just trying to give him a kick in the behind.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't think so.
There's other ways.
I don't think so.
There's other ways to do that.
I think he's like, I might be able to get someone else.
I'm an old man. Time is now. This guy had the worst second year of all time. I don't care. I don't even care about the offense anymore. I don't care.
I think just get Lamar Jackson. Do it. There's a reason Kraft threw that out there. Yeah. There's a reason he threw it out there.
Kraft's not dumb. Kraft.
That's thrown out there. Mac Jones trade being shopped is out there. I think it's only a matter of time that Belichick has that real serious conversation with someone, and that someone might be Robert Kraft, about being like, hey.
Doesn't work.
Because if you think about this, if you're Bill Belichick, right? Let's say you have an opportunity to trade Mac Jones, bring in Lamar Jackson. It's there. It's real. You have to admit, Lamar Jackson gives the Patriots a better chance to win next year than Mac Jones does. Right?
By his ability, and also his ability to bring other people there.
Yeah.
So it's like a twofer.
So you got to think, if that ever presented itself, and Bill Belichick would go to Robert Kraft first, even though Kraft says it's Belichick's decision, I'm sure they talk about a move of that magnitude, right? There's got to be a part of Robert Kraft who decided at the end of the day to stick with Belichick over Brady. Kraft had an opportunity. Brady was in his house.
Yeah.
Kraft had an opportunity to go, you know what? Here's a blank check.
Figure it out.
Here's a blank check. Belichick's gone tomorrow. Will you stay?
Yeah.
He could have done that.
Do you want to franchise TB12?
Brady might have stayed. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have some ownership stake? Yeah. Like, there was just things they could have done if they really wanted to.
And another guy
would have been outrageous.
Kraft is also an old guy too, so he would like that. That helps him.
But my thing is, in that conversation, if it was ever had with Belichick and Kraft, that the opportunity presents itself to go get Lamar Jackson right now. They could do things to make it work. You could trade Mac Jones somewhere. That trade can be a done deal if you want. Is there any part of Robert Kraft, who obviously likes Mac Jones, but is any part of Robert Kraft that feels like he might owe it to Belichick to give him the okay to make a legitimate run to win without Brady? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, obviously Kraft wants to win a Super Bowl, but do you think there's a part of him that's like, I owe it to Belichick to let him try to win one without Brady?
Yeah.
I chose Belichick over Brady at the end of the day. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer to me. So that's why I think it's...
And don't you think he would like to see another championship with Belichick too? I know he'd want a championship no matter what. Of course. But it's something more special with Belichick. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's a great story.
We've done this for a long time. Yeah.
It's a great story. if you feel like internally that you're not going to do it with Mac Jones, then if the opportunity to make that move, like a Lamar Jackson move, presents itself and you can somehow make it happen, again, you get a lot of media members who are like, oh, that can't happen. Here's why. It's almost like you're trying to tell the Patriots not to do it.
And they're also not understanding.
Like, they're not listening to you. Belichick's not listening to you.
And they're also discounting age in Belichick and Kraft. There's an element of that it's a finite amount of time that these guys are going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And when you have a year 2 like that, it's really easy to move on to a next quarterback.
So that's that. I think keep an eye on it. It's not dead. People say, oh, that was in the past. He tried to trade Mac. It didn't happen. They're sticking with Mac. We still get the draft.
Yeah,
as long as Lamar Jackson is still only under that non-exclusive. There's a certain date in which Lamar Jackson has to agree to the non-exclusive tag.
Yeah.
But I think it's the summertime. So we got a couple months of trade rumors with the Patriots and Mac Jones. That's all I'm saying. It's not dead. There's no way. Logic tells me the Mac Jones trade rumors are not dead as long as Lamar Jackson is still available. And even if Lamar Jackson, he could sign a deal with Baltimore
and still,
that sets up the trade.
Exactly. And that's probably more likely. It'll probably be something like that.
So keep an eye on it. I know I will be. And then I'll wrap it up with this. I teased it. The conspiracy theory.
Okay. Yeah. What?
The Donald Trump conspiracy theory.
Okay.
You've been paying attention to the Trump story?
I have, yeah.
Indicted.
I learned
in New York City yesterday.
I also learned indicted was spelled different than I knew.
INDICTED.
I was like,
I knew that. That's the reporter, writer, editor in me. And he was indicted. He was in the New York City court yesterday.
Saw him for a split second.
Yeah, you saw that image?
Yeah.
And I mean, I go back and forth on this, but it really is, like, is it the dumbest thing the Democrats have ever done? You know what I mean? Like,
it's only dumb if it doesn't work. From a perspective
of he's running for president.
Yeah.
And you're now giving all these people who are on the fence, like, you're making them Trump supporters, even though they might not be supporting him.
Yeah. Some people, yeah.
I think the only people you're winning over, though, if you're the Democrats right now, is the people that already hate Trump.
That you already won over.
They already hate him.
Yeah.
But people who are on the fence right now, you see something like this, you roll your eyes. It's ridiculous. There's really nothing there.
I wonder, though, because I don't think a lot of people pay that close attention. I think they see 34 counts.
Yeah.
And they go, ooh. I think it scares. I think there's a group of people who do exactly what you're saying that are like, can we just stop this? Russia, boom, boom, boom. Can we just stop
Yeah, it's like never ending.
But there's other people who don't pay enough attention where they just hear it and they're like, oh, wow, 34.
Well, here's the deal. I don't think the Democrats are dumb. What I think they're doing is they realize they have no more options.
Yeah, they're shooting their shot.
Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the trial to happen in January.
Yeah, and they also changed rules where they may be able to televise it. So, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think the timing of when they want the trial to be, I think, but I'm getting away from what my conspiracy theory is. Based on that, what I said, people on the fence are seeing the Trump indictment going, this is ridiculous. It's always something. We're going to support Trump. The conspiracy theory that nobody wants to hear is that this dude, Alvin Bragg, the DA, works for Trump. This is exactly part of Trump's plan.
Okay.
This is the conspiracy theory that nobody wants to hear. But this is the shit I think about because I'm like...
It seems too obvious. It seems like too good for him.
The Democrats, we can knock them for all,
Yeah, they're
again,
not dumb. None of these people are dumb.
An independent. I think everyone's crazy.
Yeah, I'm becoming almost a nothing.
Yeah, I'm I just react to a situation based on common sense.
Yeah.
That's basically how I react. I don't stand by a certain party's tagline.
It works. The eye test. It works not just for Mac Jones.
Not just for Mac Jones. But I look at it all and I'm like, I honestly believe that if Donald Trump, if they just didn't try to impeach him the second time, if they didn't go after him for this, I don't even know if he would have run for president again. Like, I just kind of want the guy to go away. Like, I don't want to hear the guy's name anymore.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
That's how I feel too. Part of it isn't even his fault. It's just everyone else's reaction to him that I don't want.
But I think he's only running again
to shut them up.
Because he's like, you motherfuckers keep coming after me. So guess what I'm going to do? It's fuel to his fire. And I think that second impeachment was the thing that set him off. That was like, you know what? Keep interrupting me. I just want to golf. And you're not letting me do that. Yeah. And you could have, and I would have just went away because this is a lot more fun than holding those press conferences. As much as I knock, CNN and bring on the My Pillow guy to do a press conference.
It can't be fun forever to do that. It can't be.
It's exhausting. He's getting older.
Yeah.
They could have just let him go away. They didn't. He decided to come back.
So you
never know what they're going to do. So his thing was he's going to get someone. What can put Trump over the top right now? This indictment, in my opinion, is going to put him over the top.
Well, that's
because it's such a ridiculous indictment. There's nothing there.
That's why I think they didn't put out his mugshot, because Trump would have had that on a T-shirt in about 40 minutes.
But they'll make one. One's coming.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. Because my conspiracy theory that nobody wants to hear is that this guy, Alvin Bragg, secretly works for Donald Trump.
Okay. Things like that happen all the time.
Why not?
It almost works because he ran supposedly his entire running premise was to take Trump down. So it's almost like they've been
WWE.
Yeah,
Trump is a
WWE
WWE Hall of Famer. The show comes full circle. Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer. Okay? There have been times where I listen to AOC and I watch her and I go, there is no way she doesn't work for Trump.
And also,
this is too ridiculous.
She would do pretty good
Trump
on Raw too.
Would you put it past Trump to pay someone like AOC to be so ridiculous on the other side that it would push people to vote for someone like Donald Trump? Because that's what ultimately this whole thing is. Like, you see all these people that are like huge MAGA supporters and Trump supporters. I'm not even sure they know what Trump stands for what his policies are. But you know what they don't stand for?
The other
Some
thing.
of the crazy, lunatic, lack of common sense, crazy shit that's going on the other side. They're like, we're not voting for that. Let's go with this guy.
Yeah.
To the point, it's so crazy that I'm like, Trump, I wouldn't put it past him to be paying some people on the Democrat side to be paying someone like Alvin Bragg.
Well, do you remember
to indict him before the election to put him over the top, because that's what this is doing. That's the conspiracy theory that nobody wants to hear, but I am here.
I like it
for that.
I like it. It's wacky, but I like it.
I'm looking out for the people. That's my conspiracy theory. All right, we got to wrap it up. Follow me on Instagram at Danny Picard. Follow my next venture, Broadway Golf Club, at Golf Broadway. The website is live, BroadwayGolfClub.com.
Sweet.
Couple more months, baby. Couple more months. I don't know. Should we do this every week? Twice a month?
Let's figure out something. We'll give him something.
I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Mac Jones, what happens with the WWE. Yeah, man. I've had so much stuff bottled up that there's so much more to talk about. We don't have time. We got to go. Let's wrap it up. Got anything else to say, Paul?
Nope.
Nothing?
Thank you for watching.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Maybe talk to you next week at some point. We'll talk to you soon. See you.
Perfect.